episode of I Want That Reviews. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Stealth Recoil Spring from Armaspec. Now this retails on their website for $79 even. It's advertised as being a self-contained multi-stage drop-in replacement for your standard buffer and spring. It's available in the 5 different configurations you see here. Each one of those has its own unique weight for specialized applications. It is also available in the 308 configuration at 5.7 ounces, but at the current point in time they are out of stock. Now as far as specifications on this go, it is a self-contained multi-stage drop-in replacement for your existing buffer and spring, meaning that it has one stage here that compresses and one stage here that compresses. It's designed to reduce felt recoil and reduce the sound of the spring. The buffer mass is designed to stay under constant tension against the bolt carrier. It has an O-ring on the head of the buffer that prevents metal-on-metal contact, and it can be installed with or without your buffer retainer pin. Now for initial impressions, I thought that when compared to the JP Rifle's silent captured spring, it is noticeably lighter. It does look very well made. I was pretty impressed with with some of the overall stuff. You can see the stamping on the end of it there. It has an inset O-ring. It just seems like it's very well made and very well designed. I did think that 2-stage design was pretty interesting. I've not seen anything like that in the AR world. For installation, it's incredibly simple to install. Essentially what you do is you take your existing lower that you've got, you pull out the buffer and spring that's in there already. You can remove the buffer retainer pin if you want to, but essentially what you have to do there is just compress that pin down, drop it in there like so, and that's it. Once it's in, it's good to go. You don't have to take out that retainer pin. You can leave it in there. It's made so that it can function with or without it. Now as far as use on it goes, I found that it is definitely lighter than the JP Enterprises spring. So you can see here the difference between the two. The JP Enterprises weighed in at 7.1 ounces, where the Armaspec weighed in at 5.7. So it is definitely lighter. It cycles incredibly smoothly. I found that when I was using it, the action on it ran so much nicer than it did before with just a standard buffer and spring. I did notice when I was using it that for the most part it seems like the primary stage will compress, and then when you get to the end of that primary stage you'll have a little bit heavier stage where the second stage engages. It's dead quiet. When you run this thing in there, there's no sound of the spring rubbing against the buffer tube wall. It completely eliminates that sproing sound that you'll hear right there next to your ear when you run the rifle. It's very quiet. It's very nice. I did notice a reduction in felt recoil. It did seem to cut the recoil down. I can't say how much, but it definitely did seem to reduce the amount of recoil that I felt. So as far as likes on it go, the price is a huge factor for it. $79 versus the $139.99 for the JP Enterprises really is one thing that sets this leaps and bounds out ahead of the competition. I really like the function on it. It works fantastic. It does what they say it's supposed to do. It reduces the recoil, it quiets the sound of the rifle overall, and it just gives it a much more solid feel when it locks up. Another thing I liked about it was the weight. The fact that it is almost 2 ounces lighter than the competition on the market was a big plus for me. The sound, or lack thereof, was also a big plus. The fact that this thing is dead quiet is fantastic. And I really like the simple install. You know, there's not much to it. You take out your old one, you put the new one in. I mean, it doesn't get much simpler than that. For dislikes, I can't really say that I had any. The only thing that bothered me a little bit was the difference in feel when charging. I don't think that that's something that's going to create a problem or anything like that while you're actually using it, but it is something that I noticed. Overall, I am going to give this 5 out of 5 stars. I really think that it's a fantastic product. I think it's worth the price and is definitely going to stay in one of my rifles for the foreseeable future. So go ahead and take a look in the description below. I will include a link to their website and Facebook page so you can take a look. As always, thanks so much for watching. I do appreciate you guys stopping in and taking the time to watch my videos. So please do like, subscribe, and share, and just keep checking back on a weekly basis for more reviews of awesome products just like this one that'll make you say, I want that.